Okay, we're ready to go. All right. Hi there, everybody. My name is Andrew. Welcome back to another episode of Prestige Liquids WW. My name is Andrew, and in today's video, we've got something a little bit special for you. I'm going to be talking about an event that's coming up in Sydney within about a week. So now I've got to try and shoo away these mosquitoes before they attack me. Yeah, so without further ado, I've got a special guest that I have here with me today that will be helping to discuss the event and let us know what's going on. And I'll bring him in now. So without further ado, I will introduce you all to Pete Stevens. So let's bring him in now. All right, add to stream and
Good morning,
there we
ladies
go.
and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Hi, Pete.
Pete, I haven't been called Pete Stevens in a
How
very
are you,
long
mate?
time, I gotta say. I'm doing all right, Andrew. How are you?
Well, hello there, Mr. Stevens.
Mr. Stevens is my father. Good morning. Happy
Yep, okay,
Saturday.
good.
You're hanging out in
Yes.
your backyard, as you normally do with your
Yep,
videos, so I thought I might hang out in my backyard and join the party, share some whiskey,
fantastic.
share some tobacco we
I'll
love.
say, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Oh, mate, before we get started, I'll say, are you sharing in a tipple with me today, or are you?
You
What?
know it.
Oh,
I am on the tail end of
cheers.
oh yeah, cheers, my friend. I'm on the tail end of some Buckley's Rye, which is American made. I think it's out of Indiana, but it's actually 100% Aussie owned, which is really
Oh, okay.
cool. And it tells the story of William Buckley. You know how they say you've got Buckley's chance? Well,
Yep.
I had Buckley's.
There you go.
Now I have Buckley's. So I'm on the
So what?
tail of that to begin with, but really soft, approachable rye.
So it's an American rye whiskey that's owned by an Aussie company, is it?
Yeah, an Aussie dude who's having a go of it and started production over there, and he's looking to bring it back to Australia, hopefully.
Oh,
Fingers
wow.
crossed. But it's really, really tasty juice, and I think it's about $80 a bottle, so it's not crazy expensive for a rye whiskey
Okay,
either.
that's
But
all right. Yeah.
I'm sold, and I don't know if you can see the color on that, but it's this rich mahogany
Yeah,
kind of note that you don't see in a lot of rye whiskeys. It's a
that's
little bit
beautiful. Actually,
special.
speaking of rye whiskey, I actually have my Archeros Sandiego,
Yeah,
and I mean, look at
that
that.
was the one. Oh, right. Yeah, cool. Look at the color. Gorgeous. Stunning.
Yeah, the Archeros Sandiego. Man, this stuff is incredible. But I'll leave that
Yeah,
over there and maybe pour some of that after.
yeah.
All
And
right.
I'm smoking a little
So,
Cohiba Club if you're
yep,
interested. Cohiba Short, rather. Yeah.
yep, that's all good. So let's get into this. So as I mentioned in the intro, there is an event that's coming up in Sydney in about a week or so.
Well, it's
What
not
is it?
actually a week, Mr. Majorium. We've
Oh,
had to reschedule, unfortunately, to
okay, wow.
November
Yep.
14th with everything that was going on with the second wave coming out of Victoria. With a combination of the suppliers we had involved and the interstate guests, but also just from a
Okay. Yep.
safety perspective, we decided that if we were going to run it, we wanted to be obviously heaps of fun, and we didn't want anyone
Yeah.
stressing or feeling uncomfortable. So we opted. It was probably a week after we did the media launch with you that we have pushed it back to November 14th.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
but we wanted to do it in a
Unfortunately,
way
but
where we could do it properly, where everyone could relax, and that November weather down in this location is going to be stunning.
yeah.
Yeah,
And look, with current situation the way it is, I mean, it's best to, I guess, play things as safe as possible. And
you've got to, right? Like
yeah,
if drinking's about connection and bringing people together and having a good time, and you're stressing about getting sick or ill, then
yeah,
it kind of circumnavigates the whole reason we did it. So we've opted to
yeah.
push it back, unfortunately. But we're also really excited because by the time November rolls around, we're going to be hanging for a whiskey show, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
All right, so that's it. So we've got the show. What's it called?
It is called the Sydney Hidden Whiskey Degustation.
Wow.
And
And
the
I'll say,
reason
I was gonna say, well, what's the reason behind the name?
The reason behind the name, what we've tried to do is turn on its head the concept of what whiskey shows used to be, which is, 84 Bunnings table in conference room C. What we've tried to do is we thought there was 3 opportunities with Whiskey Show. One was around consumption, one was around memory retention, and the other one was just about like the validity. Like anyone knows me, I love drinking. I don't have a problem with drinking, but I feel like if you go to an event like this where you've got a pile of distillers and people work from the brands, it's such a great opportunity. And so what we've done is we've flipped the model on its head, and we're doing 15 10-minute masterclasses. So each room, so each masterclass will be in a new room, and it's in this 200-meter old coal tunnel. And it's divided up into these small rooms. And each room you'll have a 10-minute mini masterclass with the brand, and then you'll move on to the next room. But the degustation component is because there's 5 courses of food that we're going to be running throughout the day. So the idea is to slow the consumption down a little so you can take on the information, learn and remember about the whiskies that you love from the people that make them. It's more than 10 Aussie distillers as well, which is amazing.
Yep.
So the guys that actually produce it day in, day out, not the people that regurgitate a brand plan that was invented in the UK, actually learning from the people that make it, and then combining that with some really substantial food as well. And there's over 45 whiskies throughout the day, so it's going to be a ripper. But as you can imagine, with everything that's going on, the whole concept was to run it as the world's first socially distanced whiskey show, which is still entirely the plan, and we'll still be doing it. But we thought that we may be taking on a little bit too much risk if we were going to run in August until things quiet down a little and we get on top of it as a community.
Well, I guess that's the thing, and like we mentioned before, I mean, when you consider the way things are going now, I think you've probably done the smart thing, I guess, just to kind of wait and see how things are going. I mean, especially since I believe a few of the brands that will be there as well will be, say, Victorian whiskey companies as well. I mean, and they can't get out of the state anyways, so.
Exactly, and we did come up with some strategies around that, running virtually and crossing in from distilleries and still having someone working there, and we were working through that, and then we just kind of opted that, as you said, it's just not worth it. It's not worth the risk. No. I'm not interested in taking the risk, and safety needs to be paramount with any event. Full stop, plain and simple. If people aren't safe, why are we doing it? So.
If you're going to do things in the virtual aspect as well, I mean, it wouldn't be the same either. I mean, the whole purpose of it is for people to be able to, I guess, be able to sample the whiskies and to have that experience with the distillers and the reps themselves. And you're not going to have that same interaction by doing that online.
Completely agree, 100%. And imagine if we could even shake a hand. Wow. Of the distillers that you admire that make the whiskey that you love. What a novel idea.
We kind of got to stick to these ones at the moment, don't we?
Yeah, right. Elbow touches.
I love the idea of the elbow touch, because I think that's just like the quintessential Aussie bar brawl. It's the Aussie bar brawl style, isn't it? Yeah, just walk into a bar and bang.
drop an elbow. Maybe where we're from.
I don't know. It's like, in Australia, for everybody overseas that are watching this, in Australia, an elbow to the face is how we say hello to each other in the
pub. After jumping off the back of our kangaroo that we've ridden there.
Yeah. Oh, look, the pouch of the kangaroo is just a storage compartment for your whiskey. So.
How thoughtful, and it keeps it warmed as well.
It does.
So what are you drinking there, Kurt?
At the moment, I am drinking. I've got this is unfortunately it was the last remaining pour of my sample from the Newcastle Distilling Co.
That's Lucas, right? Lucas Cattell.
Yep, Lucas Cattell from Newcastle. This is the Victor Hingston single malt whiskey barrel number 2.
Cool.
And I mean, this stuff is absolutely. Sorry.
What sort of barrel did they age it in?
I believe they used sherry casks. Oh, sorry, not sherry casks. Sorry, port casks.
Yeah, right. Okay, cool.
I'm trying to get the last few drops out of there.
Try, you know what? Try this trick. This is ridiculous trick, and it shouldn't work, but for some reason it seems to, and it's wringing out a bottle. I don't know if it's something about the vibration. So this Barclays is empty now, because will happen.
Yep.
But when you take your bottle, you hold it over the top, and literally, if you start twisting the bottle, I don't know if it's the little vibrations, but it's like wringing it out, and I always get a few extra drips.
A few extra drops.
Or it could just be that I finished the bottle beforehand and I'm imagining it. That's also possible.
I think so. It's probably a psychological thing, I think.
Yeah, why not? The placebo effect.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you got to love a good old placebo. All right. So one of my other questions that I had for you is that really, what was your inspiration for starting this event?
So the concept's a concept I'd had mulling over in my head for about 5 years. I've been involved in whiskey shows in Australia since they began, really, and but working as a supplier behind the table, being a brand ambassador, and I used to be a sales rep prior to that. So I'd be on the other side of the table, and I'd see these like super eager consumers come in and just start waving glasses at you, and they top up over time, and then within an hour they're out of there because they're too loaded, and they kind of miss the whole essence of the experience, right? Like, it's great to drink, but you can drink like that anyway. The whole idea is this is the most amazing opportunity, which only happens a couple of times a year, where you can actually have direct communication and conversation with the people that make it, sell it, know it, and love it. And I felt like, from a consumer perspective, that potentially they were missing some of the opportunity because of the structure and the way that it was formulated. And I guess it was just about creating an experience where you actually remember what you learn about, and you can actually take real world knowledge and real world practice and experience from all these experts, and then apply it to your own whiskey drinking career. And I felt like we were missing that opportunity. So memory retention.
Yeah. Well, I think that's one thing that I... Yep, sorry.
No, that's all right. Go for it.
Okay, no, I was just going to mention as well, I think that's one thing that I kind of liked that you were mentioning when we did the media launch for the event, was like you were kind of saying that as you go through it, you go through in stages. So I guess like you'll start off in one spot and then work your way through the...
Yeah, you'll move your way through all the different rooms, and then smattered throughout we'll have the food rooms as well. So you'll basically do 3 different stations of whiskey, and then a next course. So 5 courses, 15 stations of whiskey.
Yeah. So as a whole, I mean, look, things can change from now until November, but at the moment, how many brands will be represented at the show?
45 as a minimum, maybe a couple of extra cheeky ones, because there's a few other people, once they heard we were running it, that are trying to get in. So we're trying to work the format in a way that's really inclusive for all the other suppliers that want to be involved. Originally, it was sort of invitation only, where I just called the legends that I know and love and hang out with, and a lot of the Aussie guys, which I felt needed an opportunity to represent their brand and get in front of consumers. This show will have more Aussie whiskey suppliers than any other physical whiskey show that has ever happened, which is pretty cool. So it's a great way to jump in and support local and think local and help the people that are over here that are doing it tough.
That's right. And I'll say, and on that note, so what at the moment, what percentage of those brands will be Australian brands?
It's either 10 or 11 of the 15 are Aussie brands. It's somewhere around there. Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
You got a plane going over.
Yeah.
Do you want to pause and you can cut this, or?
No, that's right. That's the always the, I guess, the theme of my show. I guess like whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. I'm extremely lazy, so I don't edit. So if a plane is going over, or someone's screaming in the background, or the cockatoo is screeching it off,
it's all part of the ambience.
It's part of it.
It's about authenticity, right?
It's authentic and as raw as possible. So
why not? And I get raw. Pretty raw myself.
But I was gonna say, it's just that was probably one of the concepts for me that I really enjoy about seeing what could be the potential of this show is more so the influence of the actual Aussie distillers themselves. To have a program where the predominant feature will be Australian product.
Hmm.
That is a fantastic thing for our industry. I mean, yes, obviously when people go to a whiskey show, yes, they want to be able to expose to all these different brands that they normally wouldn't be able to go to or be able to try,
Yeah,
and you'll be offering that service because one, you'll be promoting so many, I guess, brands that most people probably have not even ever heard of, and I
exactly.
guess helping to give a voice to, I guess, those Australian distillers that
Virtual
are just
virtual high
needing that
five.
extra.
Giving a voice is where it's all out.
Yep,
This is virtual high five.
yep.
That's 100%
Give,
right. These guys flog it
yeah,
out day in, day out, and it's trying to create the platform that obviously with my business gentleman's cabinet has created a little bit of interest in them with the Insta page, Whiskey Pete and that kind of thing. It's utilizing the resources that I have to help the fellow people in the industry that I love, that I know are doing absolutely amazing things, producing
yeah,
stunning world-class whiskey and putting it in front of a pile of people which haven't had a chance to try it. It's a no-brainer. Like,
yeah,
why would you not? And I feel like, as an industry, there's a massive opportunity for us to all come together and work through this. When I was working for big brands, it's a lot more cutthroat and it's about how much you hate the competitor. And that never sat well with me because I actually really liked everyone else that worked for the
yeah,
competitor brands. I feel like what you're trying to do and what I'm trying to do is to get people to drink better booze. Full stop,
yeah,
plain and simple. So if we're going to do that, trial education is the key part of that. And then what the amazing booze does is the facilitator of conversation and connection with your fellow man or woman. So it's a very
yeah,
long-winded way of getting there, but really it's just about bringing people together and spending time investing in friendship. And whiskey, that's my catalyst. That's my method.
yeah.
Mm.
Look, that's one thing. Like you mentioned, a lot of that cutthroat industry with the other, like say, bigger brands, I guess, trying to like trample on the others below them.
Hmm.
That's one thing that I've enjoyed so much. That look, I'm sure it probably happens here as well, but from my experience of what I've noticed so far, even like with our local distillers, is really how supportive they are of each other.
They're great
Yes, look,
people, 100%.
I mean, everybody's out there obviously to sell their own product, and in their own way, yes, they are in competition with each other. But when you
Hmm.
see how much collaboration there is between them, or if something
Uh,
happens, like say for example, the bushfires that we had, other
yeah.
distillers offering to store products for other people that were in
Hmm.
trouble, or even going to each other for advice and helping each other out. I mean, that's I guess
And
the one we always keep going on about it, but that's like the perfect example of, I guess, the Australian spirit,
that's
and not
literally
just the
what I was
spirit.
about to say. Could you capture anything more distinctly or more potently as the Australian spirit than exactly what you just spoke about? Like
Yeah,
we stick together and we work together and we're trying to build something together and we're building it not just for Australia, we're building it for the world. The world hasn't seen what's going to happen with Australian whiskey, and fuck, I'm
yeah.
excited to bring it to them, and that's my opportunity. That's our
Oh yeah.
opportunity, and that's what you do day in and day out, and that's what I do day in, day out, and that's what keeps us passionate.
And I think for me, that's one thing as well that I've started to realize more so, like I guess for myself as well. I mean, obviously, when I started this channel, I never was really getting into Australian whiskey at the time when I started this. So I was obviously focusing on scotches and then starting to get into bourbons.
Yeah,
And I guess my gateway to Australian whiskey, I guess like for many other people as well, was Starward.
hundred
So
percent.
I absolutely love Starward. I cannot wait for their. Here's, I guess, a little Starward plug. I can't wait for them to finally start sending out their new release, the Fortis.
Yeah,
I've
Fortis.
got that
I
coming
got
soon.
a message about it yesterday, actually. So we should
Yeah,
have some of that coming through shortly, and
yeah.
hopefully do a review. So
I've ordered my bottle of that, so I can't wait to try that. I think that's going to be
yes,
absolutely incredible.
50%, right? And it's red wine.
Yep.
Is it basically then, like, I don't know anything about it yet, but is it the Nova but at 50%? Because
I
it
think
said
so.
red wine
Yeah. I mean, as
barrel.
far as I know,
I
again,
believe it is. But that really
Yeah,
intrigues me because I've often thought that it would be amazing with a little bit more heat in there to balance out the sweetness, which is more my
that's right.
style of drinking. Like I like wine and fortified wine, fully matured whiskeys at cask strength, just because it gives me
Yeah,
flexibility with dilution and that kind of thing. So I feel like this is a starwood I could really get behind. I use heaps of twofold in events because it's bang for
yeah.
buck. It's amazing Aussie whiskey, right? So we use lots of that, but I'm really intrigued to give it a go at 50. That's for sure.
I think that's right. I mean, one, the fact as well that it's a higher ABV. I mean, I've tried a couple of other Starward whiskies that have been bottled at a higher percentage, and
They
at
get
the
like
moment,
car
so
strength
far,
and stuff.
the bourbon cask release that they had done has by far been
Yeah,
my favorite. That was a
yeah.
higher strength,
Hmm.
and the fact that this one obviously again is bottled at 50%. It
Yeah,
will be like a batch release thing as well, so you're going to have cask difference for I guess each release that comes out. I
yeah.
guess in some ways it could be more similar to the Australian version of the Aberlour Abernard, where you're going to have like this
That's
cask
an
strength
interesting
Aussie.
comparison. I hadn't thought of that. I think
Because that's the thing, you will have batch variants. I mean, obviously this one's coming out at batch one, and if they're
every
releasing
every
all
every
these different,
every
yeah,
cask has batch variants day in day out. Like one warmer day or one colder day or a hotter or more humid spot in the warehouse will change everything on a cask. So there's always batch
yeah,
variants, but with single malts, they blend those barrels together so you don't notice the batch variants. The
that's
difference
right.
for single cask is it's exactly the way that it poured out once it's gone through a sieve and taken out your char and that kind of thing, that's floating in your booze. But there is an authenticity about cask strength whiskey for sure. It's the way
Yep.
it was meant to
Well,
meant to be, right? And it's way more
that's
efficient.
right.
50% less bathroom breaks.
Yep. Well, speaking of, I guess, Aussie spirits, I'm going to pour a little bit of something else.
Yeah, I just did the same as well, but I'm going to
What
top
have
it
you got
up
there?
because I kind of. So
Is that the
I
same
this
one?
I'm trying.
Or?
No, a different one. I'm trying this for the first time. I grabbed this bottle the other day. I'm using it from Masterclass de Savo. It's Yellow Rose bourbon, and it's from Texas. Um,
Okay.
so it is a bourbon whiskey, but it says it's 100% corn. So it's actually it's a corn whiskey, but being from the
Corn
US,
whiskey. Yeah.
being bourbon, whereas most bourbons are normally a more complex
51.
mash
Yeah.
bill between corn, wheat, and rye.
Yeah.
What's he running at? He's running at 46, and he's pot distilled. So that makes me think he's a non-chill filtered bourbon, which is
Yep.
interesting. But I've been hearing from a lot of my international and US contacts because I've got quite a bit of a following over there. I've been hearing amazing things about Yellow Rose, so I was really keen to give it a go. It's it's nowhere near as sweet as you think it would be,
Mm.
especially being 100% corn, but I think that could be the ABV jumping in and sort of grabbing some of the sweetness out of it. It's quite a dense whiskey. You'd want to take your time with it, but I'm really enjoying it. It's unlike most other bourbons that I've tried for sure.
No,
Yeah,
good. I mean, I think that's
there
always
you
the
go.
one thing we get excited about when you try a bourbon and there is something completely different about it in comparison
Mm,
to other ones that you may have tried.
totally. 100.
Yeah.
Well, that's the reason we keep trying new things, right? I've
Oh,
got a
you have to.
masterclass this afternoon, and I have 3 new whiskeys that I've never tried ever before in my life in it. So when we finish here,
Oh,
I'm going to go do a bit of research. But I've heard about lots about them. I just want to get my head around them, and that's how you learn and grow, right?
yeah, definitely.
Mm.
Um, so I think one of the other brands as well that's going to be featured at the show is the Archeros.
Yes.
That's what actually, and again, this is just what I've just poured for myself as well. So this is the Archeros San Diego Heritage Rye Malt. This is again, we'll say 100% Australian rye,
Yeah,
and
that'd be from Voyager. I'd say that is that one of those antique strains that Voyager does.
it is, yeah,
Heritage strains, I think they call them. Yeah, Stu's a
yep.
legend. Stu
Uh,
from Voyager Craft Malts will actually be at our show teaching about the different malt strains. He's going to bring plants at different stages so you can learn the whole process from start to finish, from dirt to drink, as Peter Bignell says from
yep.
Belgrove, which I
I think
love. And
at the moment, I guess for I'll say the more international viewers, I think this is the closest that we have. I think is it the Waterford's distillery in Ireland? I think their name is that. are
There
doing
is
their real big focus on the terroir. I think for us here, this is like the Australian version of that. They've sourced this this exquisite, say, type of rye that only grows in this like out of area town of New South Wales, and all local ingredients and everything
it's
like that.
Griffith,
So
isn't it? I think
I
it's
think so.
Griffith.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mafia
So yeah, I
country.
mean, this stuff is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, well, I
All
haven't.
right, so
I've tried their rye, which just the regular rye, which I think is about 125, 130, and that took out, which we're going to have at the show, and we tried at the media launch as well. But that took out best
yeah,
rye whiskey in the whiskey awards last year, or
yeah,
Sam
it
Fran.
did.
It was one or
Yep.
the other. Yeah, so
Have you
they're
tried
kicking
it?
goals down Dutchy roads.
Oh yeah, they got some
Mm.
fantastic stuff. So have you tried this yourself?
No, never.
I'll if I when I get a chance, I'll send you off a sample for it so you can
Well,
try
next
it.
time
It's
I see you, I
absolutely
got to trade you
fantastic.
some juniper berries anyway, right? And I got a
Oh yeah,
couple of
that's right.
whiskeys. You should probably try it. So next time I see you, we'll work that out. No worries.
No worries.
Mm,
All right. So back to the show.
yeah.
What do you think will be like at the moment? What do you think will be like the standout brand or feature of the event so far?
That's a bit of a
Like,
bullshit question. How can I answer that? I think for every brand that's going to be there, I hand selected, right, and I hand selected for
yeah,
a reason. We do have a Japanese whiskey, some Japanese whiskey. There's some Irish whiskey, some Scottish whiskey. So we're representing, and some US whiskey. We're representing the other categories,
yep,
but with a strong focus on Australian whiskey. But the reason I've invited everyone that was invited was because they've got a really interesting, and they've carved out their own niche. I didn't try bring a pile of brands which were very similar to each other, because the whole idea is to show you the breadth and the density of the category, and that there are so many other facets, and it's just a great opportunity to explore and to learn and see how people do things differently. Like there's some peated Aussie
yeah,
whiskies, Aussie rye is going to be there, Aussie single malt, fortified wine cast, sherries, ports, and a whole gamut of different whiskies. But that's the opportunity for something like this. The opportunity
yeah,
is to go in and try a whole heap of things. And I quite often start masterclasses by saying, I hope you don't like everything I pour today,
yeah,
which is a very controversial statement. I think I picked it up from Jared Plummer back in the day, who was a bit of an inspiration for me. He was a whiskey ambassador for Maxim, and then that turned into CCA, where I both worked. And and the whole concept of that is, if you don't like every whiskey that you try, well, that's great, because it
yeah,
identifies the styles that you actually do like. So then you go and pursue that. So what we've done is we've arranged a whole gamut, a real breadth of the category, and you can go through, and hopefully you don't like them all, because if you like some more than others, you've worked out the styles of whiskey you like, and you've gone and got
that's
some
right.
education about it. So next time you go into your local independent bottle shop, because fuck dance, um, I know I'm not meant to swear, but I'm going to do it occasionally.
You're all good.
You can actually pick up a bottle with confidence, drop 100, 150, $200, and you can pick up that bottle with confidence and know you're going to get something you love. That's the real whole goal of the show, to get
Yeah,
people back together, back talking about whiskey, and to help people work out the style of whiskey they love. That's
yeah,
it.
and
Yeah.
and that's the thing at the end of the day as well. I mean, not you're never going to be able to please everybody. Not everybody is going to like what you have made. I mean, as as much as you want everybody to like your product,
Hmm.
it's never going to
Yeah.
happen.
Oh,
And
it's
like you
never going
said,
to hit every flavor profile, but that's the
no,
beauty
no,
of it.
and that's the thing. And like what you said before, like when you do these master classes, or if you're out with a group of people and you're all trying something, really, you don't always want everybody to like the same thing. Because otherwise, what are you going to talk about?
Yeah.
If you have 10 people in a group and they all like the same whiskey or whatever
Well,
it is
we'd
they're
only
trying,
have one brand of whiskey if that was the
yeah,
case, and that would be it.
and that's
It's
the thing. Like,
just whiskey.
what conversation are you going to have? Yeah, it was really nice. I like this about it. I like that about it, and then everybody
Mm.
agrees. If you have
Hmm.
at least one person in that group that's going to tell, no, you're all full of shit. I didn't like it at all. you're going to have an awesome argument.
I know quite a few people that would approach it like that, actually. No, you're all wrong.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I was now at the moment kind of rounding off to, I guess, the end of this at the moment. So, wow, where will the event be held?
Right, so it's called the Coal Loader in Waverton. So it's just from North Sydney. It's about 800-meter walk down from Waverton Station, just a little bit west from North Sydney, and it's right down on the water near the Navy base. So it's called the
Yep.
Coal Loader Centre for Sustainability. It's a brand new venue. It's an event space, but they haven't done a lot in it yet, and obviously COVID's sort of slowed that down. It's a sustainable venue, and there's a lot of different boxes we have to tick in order to run a sustainable event there. But
Yep.
it's a really exciting venue as well. Being this old coal tunnel, it's got one tunnel the whole way down the middle, and then off to the sides has a pile of these 10-meter by 10-meter rooms, which is where they used to store the coal, and then they'd whack it in the carriages, run it down, and put it on the ship. So it's right on the water. It's amazing, and all this old hand cut convict stone. It's quite a
Yep.
phenomenal space. Lots of warmth and lots of energy in the space as well. You can feel the history, and we're going to be drinking whiskey in there.
Yeah, I think
It's going to
that's
be unreal.
the one awesome thing that you were telling us in the, I guess, at the media launch was that that these tunnels have been all convict built. So you've got this awesome, I guess, piece of history that will be a part of, I guess, what will be a new history. And I guess again, as you mentioned,
Yes.
this being the first, I guess, socially distanced whiskey show in the world at the moment.
Yeah.
Those things kind of go hand in hand, and
What
look, I
about
just look
this?
forward.
Oh, sorry. Keep going.
No, no, no.
Sorry.
I was just going to say, I just look forward to seeing how this will progress in the future because one, you're very passionate about this as well as the other.
Yeah.
I'll say the people that are also helping you to put this together. You're all a very passionate group of people,
Correct.
and
Yeah.
this is something that I believe will become successful and has the potential for I
Appreciate
guess
that.
for continuing on in the future. It can
It
change.
don't. Yeah.
It's something that can change the way that we do whiskey shows in Australia. You know.
Well, hopefully globally, but something just came to mind when you were talking about the history, and then you had all those really lovely words to say, and I thank you. But let's call it. What about this? Making history in history. Hey,
That's that's I
that's what I
think that's
cut you
your
off for.
mate. That's your I think that's your slogan right there. I think you have to have a banner of that somewhere in
That's
the
cool, right? Creating history
yeah,
in history.
that's yeah, creating history in history. That's awesome.
I hate it. Must be good whiskey, right? Because it's only
Oh,
11:30 in the
hey,
morning. I'm not normally this creative.
mate, we're having those epiphany moments now. Right, you better
It's
write that
you're
down so you don't forget.
inspirational, Drew. That's why it's your inspiration.
Mate, if I wish I had a pen on me now because I'll write that down on my paper right here now so we don't forget.
I'll text it to you straight after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, so all right, so we know where the event is being held. Next question. Are there still tickets available, and
The,
where can people go to buy them?
Yeah, so there are a few tickets still available. We're pretty close to sold out. I think most of the tickets that are left are for the day session. We're doing a 12 p.m. and a 4 p.m. kickoff. I think 4 p.m. is fully sold. 12 p.m. I think we've got like literally a handful, like 15 or 20 tickets left out of 240.
Yeah.
Just from a couple of social posts. So I think the market's really excited for it. But if they want to go there, I think it's visionsandstyle.com/Sydney Hidden Whiskey, or if you go on the Gentleman's Cabinet Facebook page, um, which is GENTLEMANS Cabinet, which
Yep.
is my business. There's an event under there as well, and there's a link to the tickets on Eventbrite. But if you go to
Yep.
Eventbrite and type in Sydney Hidden Whiskey Degustation, you can pull them up there. They're $165 a ticket. For that, you get 45 plus whiskeys, 3.5 hours of hanging out with distillers, brand ambassadors, and learning from the people that love it. and 5 courses of food as well. So,
Yep.
and they're really, really substantial. We spent a heap on catering, but it'll be worth it. I've tried them
Fantastic.
all, and they're amazing. Yeah, we're looking forward
Well,
to it.
what I'll do as well is that once this video is ready to go live as well,
Yeah,
I'll put a link in the description for, I
yeah,
think you
legend.
mentioned the Gentleman's Cabinet. I'll put a link in the description in there so that people know where to navigate.
Yeah, cheers, man. Thank you.
Right,
I appreciate that.
mate. Well, I'm really am looking forward to seeing how this is going to unfold because as we were leaving the media launch last time, I was talking to some other people that were there as well. I mean, and we were all saying the same thing, that we just can't wait to see how this is going to unfold because, and I know myself personally, I see that one, it will be a success. It will work out very well, and it does have the potential for something that can be done again and again and again. I think one, people will really enjoy the structure of how you're organizing this, and the fact that people get to try, I guess, predominantly Australian products that are usually out of reach, or yeah, kind of out of reach for a lot of people, whether it be one because they can't find them or because of the price point.
100%.
It will give a lot of people it will give a lot of people the perfect opportunity to be able to try a lot of these brands that they have been trying to find for a long time. And I think it's
Yeah.
absolutely fantastic what you guys are
Thank
trying
you,
to
man.
put together.
And opportunity is the right word for it, right? Like this is just a
Yeah,
really cool opportunity. Um, yeah, I'm just really excited to bring it to, all to you. We are very excited to bring it all to you.
yeah,
Come November 14th.
yeah. Well, look, I know, even say for myself, I couldn't. I was like over the moon when you called me up to even just to be invited to the media launch. I'm thinking, wow, I said, this has never happened before. This is going to
Well, we
be
are excited to have you
absolutely
there.
fantastic. So again,
I
for myself, thank you for giving me the opportunity to be able to help promote this awesome event, and just to be able to play a small part in it. So
Oh
again,
man, that
cheers.
is
Thank
our
you.
honor to have you to help promote it. Cheers. I'll cheers to that.
Yep.
It's our honor, and I think it was a really good opportunity to bring some of these guys that are doing stuff in the whiskey industry and with YouTube pages and Instagram pages, to bring them all together and really start getting us all working together, because we are trying to achieve the same thing, and I believe it's really important. So
Yeah. No, 100%. Mate,
awesome.
I think that's pretty much all I have to ask about the event at the moment. Is there
Awesome.
anything else that you would like to mention before we sign off?
No, well, obviously, I'll like share this through my page and give you a shout out as well, guys. But if you haven't checked out Andrew's other videos, there's 60 or 70 of them sitting on YouTube and Facebook and stuff. It's very much worth checking out. There's a broad range of styles that he reviews as well. But I'm really excited to watch your journey as well. So
Thank you very much.
hopefully we can have this conversation in 15 years when I've got a whole lot more grey hair. Oh, look at that. It's all shining because of the sun.
Yep,
And we'll do it all again in the future. Awesome, man. I
definitely. I
appreciate
guess.
you having me on.
No, again, thank you for having me be a part of this. So, look, again, I think that's it. We'll sign off now.
Right.
Um, yep. So I guess for all of you who are watching this, once it goes up, I will, as I mentioned before, I will post a link in the description for where you might be able to snap up the last remaining tickets of this show, because they are going fast. So, yep. Link in the description. While I'm at it, don't forget to hit that bell notification and the subscribe button if you have not yet done so. And
Subscribe,
for all my
like,
return,
follow.
yeah, all of
Do
those.
it.
And
Awesome.
for all the
Thank you for
returning
having me on.
subscribers, yep, it was, man, it was my pleasure, and I hope that we'll get a chance to do this again. And look, you never know. One thing that I do like to do with some other channels every now and then is to like review whiskeys with other channels. So
Yeah,
look, I'm sure sometime down the track that maybe we can work something out. We
100%.
can bring on some
I've got a
Aussie whiskeys, and we can review them together and just help push the word out for them.
yeah, I'd love that. I've got a few different projects coming up which that will fit really well into. It's all a little hush hush for now. You
Yep.
know a little
But
bit
well, then
about
stop
what's
talking
coming up.
about it.
But let's do some stuff together again for sure. But we can even
We
hopefully
will.
do it, 1.5 meters from each other instead of from the other side of Sydney.
No, that would be much preferred.
Awesome.
All
Cool,
right,
man. Well, enjoy your Saturday. I got to shake a leg, so I got to get out of here and get ready for a
yep.
masterclass and
I
go
won't hold
preach
you
the
too
word of
long.
whiskey.
No problem. All right.
Okay. Happy
I'll
Saturday.
happy Saturday, and we'll talk again soon. Bye bye.
Awesome. Thanks, Drew.
Bye.
Bye.